Hey guys, Craig here from Australia, Wollongong, South. I've watched many videos in relation to the Key program with Royal Caribbean, and thank you for that. There's been some really good, detailed videos that helped me make my decision on why not to give it a go. So, we were on a cruise on Boxing Day 2019 to New Zealand. Decided to get the Key program. My wife thought it was possibly a bit expensive. However, doing all the research and from what a lot of YouTubers done, I thought, no, let's give it a go, because we're not that everyone isn't, but I think Aussies are pretty fair in relation to giving their commentary. What's good, what's bad, what's fair, and so yeah, here we go. So on the boat, getting there, first things first, we had 2 bottles of wine in our luggage. We were asked, do we have any alcohol? We said, yes, we've got 2 bottles of wine. I said, okay, well, they need to be in your carry-on. So I don't know if that was the travel agent's fault, or I don't know if that was Royal Caribbean's fault, but again, we had to unzip all of our luggage and get it out and put it on, and anyway, it was a bit of a hassle, but did it. And then we saw a sign that said, the Key. Walked up and said, hey, we're part of the Key. Here's our set sail pass. Bang, straight through, all the way through, and then we got checked on pretty quick. I think there possibly could have been some other areas where we said we're part of the Key and got around the customs crew, but seriously, we were well and truly on within 15 minutes. And then we went down to the area for the special lunch. The special lunch, we're in the queue. I had people there booking tours for Key guests and also trying to get people in to have lunch. We were starving. There's probably 6 people in the queue. They said to us, oh, look, if you want to come and eat now, come back after you've eaten and you can book, whatever tours or whatever you want to do. We're like, we're starving. We went in. Look, lunch was awesome. The fact that we got in, sat down, had a really nice restaurant. It wasn't in Chops or any of the specialties. It was in one of the downstairs restaurants, but the food, I believe, was from there, from Chops, etc. So overall, the food, it was a really nice lunch. So first tick, I suppose, big one there with the onboarding and that. Then secondly, I suppose then we finished. We went out to book our certain times, and they'd packed up and gone. And then when we went upstairs looking for someone who was supposed to be outside the music hall, they sort of didn't really know about the Key. And then it sort of all twigged, and then I was like, oh yeah, okay, sorry, the Key. It was so, yeah, it sort of made it feel a little bit not that special. However, again, they reacted. We got it booked for the iFly and things like that. So, baggage, yep, got access to our room about 1 o'clock. Went in. Only probably bad things, our other baggage didn't turn up till at least 6, I think. So that was a bit of a pain because we wanted to get ready for dinner and have our first night. I won't go into the other things because this is about the Key. So yeah, but then we met some other people that purchased the Key, and that had some similar experiences. Again, dinner was nice. We're in the main restaurant, 8 o'clock sitting, and then a few, I won't spoil it, but a few certain surprises turned up during the cruise in your room, which was nice. Being part of the Key program, one of the massive benefits, I think, when my wife really realised, was priority disembarkation. That was a pretty big one because there was probably 2 or 3 ports that we got off that we just went around when the queue was massive around the casinos or wherever it was, and we just went, sorry, we're part of the Key program, and bang, straight through. Probably 2 tours we would have missed if we had to line up with everyone else. So that's probably a pretty big one. The disembarkation was pretty good. I will say the reserve seating, when they say, oh, you've got reserve seating, it shows we didn't really find that, to be perfectly honest. And some of the reserve seating was like you had the glass in front of you and things like that. So by the time we got there or whatever, yeah, I think that needs to be worked on. Bingo, definitely, as we know, a lot of people play bingo on sea days. That's another thing they should work on. Have a reserve seating for that. And then, other than that, the reserve times were good for whatever certain events you wanted, like the iFly or Ripcord or whatever you wanted. The other big thing I probably would say was the breakfast at the end. It was nice to have a selected, special breakfast, but to be perfectly honest, I felt like the waiters were like, okay, you finished, let's get you off, let's get the other ones on. Yeah, I even started eating my meal at one stage and he went, oh, sorry, you've got the wrong meal. And yeah, it sort of didn't leave the best taste in our mouth. But then on the contrary, when we went to leave and we had priority disembarkation, showed us that I said we were the key and we went straight up, straight out, pretty much. So that was probably a good thing, again, in relation to that. So the number one question that pretty much everyone asks is it worth it? Now, as you know, you get Voom internet. That's probably the first time I've spoken about it. You get Voom internet, Wi-Fi. So it's a great way to message around the ship if you need to, especially if you need to know where everyone is or what's going on. That's a big thing, especially with what happened in Australia over the New Year's period with the fires and communicating with family. But, yep, definitely think a big thing there, especially with the price added on with the lunch, with the disembarkation, with everything. So I really think it is worth it. I think they can tweak it. I think they can make it better to be more a bit VIP, and encourage a better experience, especially with staff and just overall. I think it was worth the money, especially with everything that I've talked about the disembarkation, the lunches, the lunch and things like that. I think it was worth it, and the Voom, definitely worth it. I just think it can be tweaked a little bit better to make it even more special for people that want the key program. And selected too, I don't know, they said it was maybe about 100 people. I'm not quite sure. But overall, the number one thing that everyone wants to know is, would I do it again or would I buy it again? Yeah, I would. I think that just needs to be a little bit of tweaking. But I think value for money with the internet, with the priority embarkation, disembarkation, internet, things like that, I do think it was worth it. I just think there needs to be a little bit of tweaking. And it is a new program, so it's not their fault. But yeah, that's it. That's my recommendation of the key. I think if you want to treat yourself, get on quick, get off quick, have a few perks, get access to the internet, all that type of stuff. It is worth it. But look, everyone's different. Anyway, we had a great holiday to New Zealand. I wish everyone a great holiday if they do aboard Royal Caribbean. The staff were fantastic. It was a great cruise. Again, I just think there were some small little things they could have tweaked to make it that ultimate cruise, especially when you're spending that extra money on the key. So anyway, I've not got any push notification buttons or anything like that. I just want to give this review and speak completely honesty. And if anyone's got any questions, please don't hesitate to message me. And I wish you a very safe, healthy, and happy 2020. Cheers.